Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a review for a plugin called Dehancer. So Dehancer, they're a company that reached out to me and asked if I could just give them an honest review of their plugin and what it's for. So basically, Dehancer is film emulation. It's a film emulation plugin, and it works for Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop, Capture One, Affinity Photo. I think that's it. I think I got them all. Yeah. So basically, what it does, it's in the name. It emulates film. So the reason why, you might be thinking, well, why do I need to do that? So let's say, for example, if you don't have access to one of these, which is a film camera, but you want your images to look like they were taken on some of this, which is film, that's where Dehancer comes in. And they're pretty good. Their stuff, it replicates film pretty accurately, is what I think. But obviously you can be the judge. So I'm just gonna do a quick review, go through a process of me editing one of my images and using Dehancer, and at the end I'll give you a little feedback, a conclusion on what I think of it and how good it is. And also, not to forget as well, they've now got iOS software as well. So there's an app that you can get on iOS. I don't think it's on Android yet, but it is on your iPhone and your iPad. So I'll also throw that in at the end as well if you want to see how that looks. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into review. Right, so we're going to jump firstly here we're going to do this through Lightroom. So here we are in Lightroom Classic. Got this image of a Shan what we took when we went over to Greece last year. So I've already done some editing on this image, as you can see here. So what you would do from here is you would then right click and you would open up Dehancer Lightroom. I normally keep it on edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. That way then it keeps it non-destructive and I can still keep my original image. Choose your settings here. So we say edit, Dehancer goes ahead and opens up. And it's full screen that. So this is what you're met with, and I've been having to play around with all the different features here. So it's initially set on presets. You have all your film stocks there down the side. I'll get to that in a second. And then you've got all your different settings here that you can go in depth and change. I'm going to just go ahead and minimize all of these to make them a little easier to see and having everything open. And we'll get back to that in a second. So what you can do, rather than having them like this, you can click profiles. When you click profiles, you can then choose film type and choose what type of film you want. So if you wanted a motion picture type of film, you choose motion picture, and then these are like it says, these are from like movies basically, and you could choose one of these looks if you wanted one of those, which I do like the look of most of those. If you wanted just your normal color negative, these are ones that you would use like in your camera, and then you've got all of these here. So like I said, clicking on profiles just makes it easier to navigate and get through them. So for example, let's say if you wanted Kodak Color Plus, you could come there. If you wanted Kodak Gold 200, press that, and then you've got like your portrait down here. They've even got the old school portraits, 160 NC and 160 VC. Whereas obviously now we've just got portrait 160. But basically, Dehancer have gone through and they've tried to accurately replicate all of these different films. So if you wanted to get that nostalgic film look, you can go ahead and get that without actually having to take it on film. You just grab your digital camera and you jump in here and get your look of whatever it is that you're looking for. Like for example, I purchased some Minolta some of this film VX400 the other day. I'm yet to shoot on it, but I've got it here. I can see what it already looks like. I could shoot on some Portrait 400, Portrait 800. It's all here. So, like I said, and there's a few other ones as well. Got color negative. You've got some positive films, instant. Like your Polaroids and stuff. What else have we got? Got some exotic ones, you know, like a Lomachrome purple. Well, that's an interesting look, isn't it? Let's see what else we got. Cross. I genuinely don't know what that one is, so I'm not going to pretend I could do, but there's just so many to choose from. You've got your black and white, so obviously you've got your Ilford films here, and as you can see here, you've got a push and pull, so you can push and pull your film from here as well, and as you can see, you could just push that by 2 stops either way. You can see that changing on the histogram at the bottom as well of what you're doing. Double click, get back to the center. So one that I did like the look of, I liked some of these motion picture ones. Good old 250D. So over here on the side, like I said, you've got all these other settings. I'm just going to quickly run through it. I'll just adjust the sliders so you can see what to do. Not really trying to make like a spectacular image. Just trying to show you what you can do in this app. So obviously when you go ahead and get this app for yourselves, you know what it can do. So obviously exposure is a bit self-explanatory. You can adjust the exposure there. So if you had too much or too little, you could change that there. And the range of what it can do is quite high. So you have to be quite sensitive when you're moving it. Like going all the way, look at that, that's just totally destroyed. And obviously just totally black. So just be mindful of that. You've got to make very tiny adjustments to your image. Even like look here with the temperature, very subtle movements, and you get big changes. As you can see that happening there on the histogram when I'm adjusting it cooler and warmer here. And you got your tint as well, you know, if you want it more greens or more magentas, you can change that there. Let's come down here, you got your film developer. You won't really go into that, but again, that's just things like your gamma, your color separation, etc. I'm not going to mess with that. Film compression, you watch, keep an eye on like the backgrounds and stuff like that, and watch here on your histogram when you turn that on. You see that's changed. You can adjust the impact of that, of the film compression, just your white point. If you see in the backgrounds, I don't know if you can see that changing there. When you turn on the compression, it just compresses the image. Your tonal range and density. There's literally so much detail of what you can do. You've got your print. If you want to choose a different type of paper, you've always got linear, which is no print. And then you've got Cine on film log. You use this if you was taking it into something else and you're going to go on from there. If you wanted to have that log footage and then you wanted to bring this image into there, you would choose film log. You've got your Fujifilm. Not a big fan of the Fujifilm one. Got 283, and I don't mind this Endura glossy paper. And then again, like I said, everything you can adjust, literally anything on here. So you can change all of that there. What's next? You've got your color head. If you wanted to push your colors around, so you know, your blues into yellows, yellows into blues, and vice versa. So if you wanted like a more of a unique look, so as you can see, if I push it more into blues, I'm bringing a bit of that sky back in the background. You've got your magentas and your greens. You can push it more into green, so you see like the green starting to pop a little bit more there. And then obviously same with your cyan and red, and it goes on and on and on. Plenty of stuff you can do there. We can turn that off, and obviously you've got these little check boxes as well, so that you can turn things on and off if you want to see what effect each one's having. And what we got next? We got film grain. Everyone loves a bit of grain, so you can change that film type from positive to negative. So you've seen before when we was over here and you had your positive films and negative films, you can adjust that here as well. That kind of like changes. Let's see if we zoom in. Let's see. If you look here, basically look, you can adjust the size of the grain. You can adjust the amount of the grain as well. The resolution, the shadows, how it messes with your highlights and your colours and your midtones. And if you see here, look, if you adjust it from positive to negative, you see the effect that that's having there as well. What else do we have? And then you've got your halation. can see as I'm turning the halation on, and there you see it's getting the red glow that halation's known for. You can amplify that if you want. You can, like I said, I'm probably destroying this image, but I'm just going through just to kind of show you all of the features that are in here. Let's turn that halation off. You can see your center hair all red, and then you've got your bloom. Again, another self-explanatory one. As you can see, I've turned that on. It's adjusting the bloom of the image. If you want it to have like that misty look, like you've got a pro mist filter on your lens. And then you've got all the details here, look, highlights, source limiter, and the details. Some of these are pretty much the same across them all. You can amplify it and stuff like that as well, and the impact that it'll have. And then lastly, at the bottom, you've got your vignetting as well that you can change there. Let's turn that off. But like I said, it's a great thing. There's so much you can do with it. So many different looks that you can get. Achieve so many different types of film looks. It's amazing. It's great, and I appreciate Dehancer for reaching out to me, giving me the opportunity to try this. It's really good, and this is just the photo one. You'll see some other reviews that I've done as well. Probably at the end of this video, I'll go through. They've also got an iOS version as well. So if you've got an iPad or iPhone that you want to use rather than using it on your desktop or your laptop, you can jump in the app. I'll show you around the app. The app is pretty much like this as well. There's like nothing missed out. It's the same powerful plugin, which is really good. But I'll bring that on screen in a second, and I'll show you through that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's Dehancer plugin for, well, this is for Lightroom. You can use it in Photoshop, you can use it in Capture One and Affinity Photo as well. It's the same plugin. It looks just like this, but you can use it in all those apps as well. You purchase it once and you can use it in all those different apps. When you finish, you can literally just press OK, and it'll take it back into whichever app it was that you were using, and then it's there. You can continue editing if you like. And that's that. Right guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that of the Dehancer software, and I said I'd give you my final thoughts. So basically, I really like it. I'm really impressed with it. It's great. I love all the different film stocks that it's got in there. There's a lot to choose from. It gives you a lot of variety. So for example, like I said, I've gone out the other day and I bought some of this Konica VX400, and I can literally, rather than looking for this, because this is expired film, it's been discontinued, they don't make this anymore. So if I wanted to achieve this look, I can just go to one of my digital images, load up, for me it would be Lightroom, and then Dehancer, and I can literally put this film stock on it. Hey presto, I've got that look. Like I promised you, I will go through the iOS in a second. If there's anything else that I would say that I do think the price is a little steep, but that's just me. Like I said, it's different for everybody. I don't know what your pockets are like, and I don't know what you're going to use it for, but I guess it's one of them. If you're going to, if it's something that helps with your workflow, then why not do it? If you invest in yourself, obviously works. So I'm gonna go through the iOS version. I'm gonna bring it up on screen now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up here. As you can see, I'm using the iPad version, but the iPad and the iPhone version are the same. It's just an iOS version, and it's not like before where on your iPad it just loads up the iPhone version. On your iPad it'll load up an iPad version. On your iPhone it'll load up an iPhone version, but they have exactly the same features in both of them. So load up here. Got a folder open already. I'm going to choose one of these images of Vela. Let's go for this one. So this is an iPhone photo. This is a photo that was shot on the iPhone, and this is like the main screen that you met with. It loads up with whatever you were using last. So I'll just run through the layout. So obviously along the right hand side, it's where you've got all your adjustments, and then along the bottom you've got your different sections. So if we start off with source, that's where you've got obviously your source, and you can go into films. this is where you've got all your different film stock. So as you can see, I've already got it on that one I just shown you, that Konica Minolta VX400, but you've got all the different ones here. You can, just like on the desktop, it's got all the, it can break it down into all the different sections. I'm not gonna go through it. I'm not gonna go through it all because we've been through it all before. It's literally just the same but a different layout. Then we've got the developer section. You've got the compression, expand, print with, you know, where you can choose all your different papers, you know, get the different looks there. Then you've also got your color head, your film grain, adjusting all the grain. Like I mentioned before as well, the slightest movement changes a lot, so be very careful with what you're moving. It's a bit different here because you're using your fingers compared to using a touchpad or a mouse. And then you've got your halation, your bloom, and your vignette. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all the editing. I'm just showing you the software. It's just a quick rundown of, you know, how it works. When you finish your image, you obviously just hit the share button and it goes into your photos library. And basically that's your iOS. What is good though, I do like when you bring up the histogram, it brings up, it shows you where your shadows are and stuff like that, which is quite handy. But yeah, that's the iOS version, and you've seen both now. You can let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to also like this video if this was helpful to you, because liking it is helpful to me as well, and comment below like I said before, and share and subscribe, and catch you guys in the next one.